Oh yeah, I forgot. I guess I have the sound on. You're gonna hear me clear my throat too. The Sound of Inking by Linda Israel. I had an idea, so I was trying to put it together before the live started. I'm muted so you didn't hear me blow my nose. 50 seconds! Hang on! Hang on to your tutu! Oh, I've got a mess on my desk. I don't know what I'm going to do. We're going to see what happens. Put some lotion on my hands. All right, I think it's good enough. We're close enough, right? 16 seconds. All right, see if I remember how to get this computer to work. Come on, computer! Winging it. We're just winging it. Hello and welcome, everybody. I completely forgot to do the starting video, but if you recall, if you remember, type !raffle to get in on the raffle that will give you a chance to win 200 junk bucks. I am not going to be giving away any physical prizes. They're all going to be coupons or junk bucks to my shop. Because I don't have the bandwidth to deal with trying to ship things at the moment other than orders. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad to have you here. Thank you so very much. I've had some much needed time off. The struggle is real, y'all. I can totally sympathize for those of you that have had it rough, if you will. without saying the words, because I don't feel like it's necessary to say what all of my feelings were, but I've been in a lot of pain, and because of that, you know what happens when you're in pain? You don't sleep very well. You have feelings that you don't like. Thank you so much, Margie. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for your donation. You blessed me so very much. You're going to make me cry. Thank you. I've missed y'all. It's been a little bit of a struggle for me. Sorry. Because I haven't felt well, so it's been hard. And y'all know that when I do my videos, I want to be upbeat and friendly and helpful. And when you don't feel it, it's kind of hard to be upbeat and friendly. So I know, and I sympathize with all of you that go through these things as well. So I send lots of love to each and every one of you. May you be blessed in everything that you do. All right, so we got to get this under control here. we got to control things. Come on. Pardon me. As I blow my nose and get some hand sanitizer so we don't spread the germs on my stuff. So, okay. All right. Thank you. So, I am working on the next kit. I have been so blessed by Norella of Calico Collage. If you would, do patronize her shop on Etsy. You'll see a link in the description box down below. She is such an amazing lady, and I am so blessed to have her. She's going through some rough times too. I know that. I mean, she's had some plumbing issues. She's had scheduling issues with the family. It's just been one thing after another, but she was able to get the kit digital portion all put together for me. And so some of the girls got to see, all they got to see was this page and this. Oh, it's upside down, but these two pages during my gel printing workshop on Saturday. But I'm going to show y'all a few things that I have. So this is going to be the printed portion of the subscription box. Mine is printed on my home printer. The kit will be professionally printed on a laser printer. Pardon me. My allergies also get all messed up. So you'll see a stencil pattern, that one of mine that I drew, that Norella used. Pardon me. I apologize. And she's used a lot of different music. And then we had, I call these more pastel watercolors in a sense, color-wise, and the music theme. So we've got a beautiful violin on the front. We've got some peonies. No roses on the front cover, Robin. And then on the inside, this is another one of my stencil patterns here with this flower. And then she used some different music notes and music staff and whatnot. Here's some of the journal cards that will be in the kit. I'll kind of give you all a quick preview of those. Now disregard if it looks fuzzy, because that's my home printer or my personal printer. Sometimes it gets cranky because it hasn't been used properly, and so it has a tendency to blur. You love the water? Oh, good. I'm glad. I thought you'd appreciate Robin. No roses. We've got dragonfly. We've got butterflies. I love these colorful butterflies. I went through and I selected a bunch of imagery that I wanted to be used. And then what I do is I tell Norella, I say, here's what I've picked. This is the realm of the color that I want. And I say, you pick what you like working with based off of this information. And this is what she's come up with. This is another one of my stencil patterns. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to give you a bonus stencil this time, because normally I give you 2 stencil sheets. One is a full sheet and the second one has 2 patterns. So I'm trying to decide if I want to go ahead and add a third stencil. I haven't decided yet. I'm still putting all this together. My goal was to have it all ready for next week, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think I'm going to wait till November. What is that? November the 5th or 6th or something like that, whatever that Monday is, because Halloween falls on a Tuesday, the 7th maybe? I don't know, whatever that Monday is. So this is one of the pages. I love the orchid and the lilies. She knows that I love orchids and lilies, so she used some of those images. I love the banjo in the field, as well as the violin. That could also be, I guess, I don't think it has enough strings to be a, what is that, a cello? And then this side. Oh, Alexa, off! I'm going to unplug you, lady. And then she's done this on other journal kits of hers where she's put the butterfly half on the page. And I just love that look. So I'm so glad that she did it for my journal kit as well. Love the accordion. Have y'all ever been around an accordion in person? They're a lot of fun. I've got a French horn. I know some of these instruments. Like, I think this is not an alto sax. It's a different kind of saxophone. And then we've got a harp. And then here's the back page with some butterflies. So that will be the printed portion in the next music kit. And she named it, but right now the name has left my thoughts and I don't remember what it's called, but it's music. So if you currently have a subscription with me, then you should start getting an email soon to remind you of your subscription, to update it. If there are elements when they come out that you want changed, meaning you want to add the digital portion, or you didn't have the printed large journal kit, which is 2 journal kits, 2 journals in it, or if you need the planner kit or the mini kit, the add-on for the Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist, you can message me through my website, or you can message me on Facebook, or you can leave a message here on YouTube saying, hey Linda, look at my account, make sure that I have everything if you want all the things. Some of the other things that I'm going to have in the kit is I convinced Henry to do some embroidery. I found this beautiful music treble clef that had music notes all sprinkled around it, and I had it embroidered on some muslin fabric so that you could take that fabric if you wanted, and you could coffee or tea dye it or stain it or whatever you want to do, and then you could glue it or sew it or add it to your journal wherever you like. So I've ordered some, I'm waiting on some music charms to arrive. That's part of the reason why I'm pushing my delay back here. There's going to be some music charms. Jennifer Edmondson was with me. Jennifer Edmondson was with me when I bought some fabric. So I'll be tearing some strips of fabric to put in the kit. What else? I'm still selecting the chipboard pieces for the kit. I have designed the rubber stamps and I haven't finished uploading them to my website. Right now there's only one. It's a little heart with music on it. So that'll be up there soon. And I'm trying to think what else. I don't know. It's just all the things that have been going on. It's been kind of crazy. So I hope you love it. It will be my last subscription kit. I do not have plans right now to do more subscriptions anytime soon. I might, hey Jennifer, I may do a standalone kit where I go through my stash and I just kind of make up, if it is 10 kits, that's all there is. That's what I'll put together. It probably wouldn't have a printed portion in it. It would just be things that I decide to put together, and it may have a bonus of one of my stencils. I have some extra Tattered Angels. Maybe I'll throw that in there. I don't know. But I've done the subscription boxes for 5 years, and I was the only person who had a junk journal subscription box. I don't know if that can be said now, but when I started, I was the only one. And I've done it for 5 years, but it's taken a toll on me to try to keep it up. But it's time to move on to something else. So I had this project on my desk where I had, let me grab my inspiration for this. So I found in my stash this Reader's Digest book cover where I had gutted the book pages out of it. It was ripped down the spine. I am going to cover this, so I just reinforced it with several pieces of paper, and I will cover this with some fabric, but I'm not going to do that today. But I wanted to show you this was my inspiration. So my thoughts were I wanted to make journal pages, let me slide this off, that would fit inside here. I will probably do a Midori style journal, and that is where there'll be individual journals inside the cover that can come out, so you could take them out and be able to lay them flat. They will be bound together, as those pages will be sewn together, but you'll be able to lay it flatter than you would if you left it in the cover. Yeah, I'm glad you love the butterflies and the music. Yay! And the flowers. Good, good, good. Yeah, there are a lot of people doing the subscription boxes now. You know, I was the pioneer. All right. So I started going through my stash, and my neighbor, before she moved away, and then subsequently, it's been a few years since she moved away. She has passed. She was 80. I think she was 88 or 89 when she passed, and she gave me a whole roll of scrap wallpaper. And this was wallpaper that had paste on the back side. I know I have another piece here. Here's one. So it is discolored, and if you feel it, it has a grit to it, which means if you get this wet, then it will be like a paste and stick to other things. So what I did was I grabbed a book page and I glued it to the other side. I then went through, you know, these little tear-off notepads. I've got a few of them here. I picked these up at the dollar store. If you don't have these, you know, some ideas is you could take some notebook paper and dye it. You can dye it with food coloring, Kool-Aid, tea, avocado skins. I did some with some blackberries, and I did some with some cherries. I didn't get any mulberries this year. I think all the birds got those. Coffee and tea, of course, and you could spray them with Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist. You can find color paper in your stash if you want. I just like the convenience of having this little notepad. And for reference, so you know, this is 3.5 by about 5 inches in size. And when they're only $1.25, in the beginning they were only $1, I would pick them up at the dollar store. Thank you so much, y'all, for being here. Thank you so much for supporting me. I greatly appreciate it. You have a few Reader Digests that you bought? Yeah, that's what they're great for, is tearing them up and using them. So, set my cover back over here. I stamped around the edges. I used the Henna Rose stamp and stamped around the edges. And then I made a little journal card and a pocket. So the pocket here was some scraps that I had left over, where I had cut one of the pages to the size that I want for the journal, and I plan to decorate the other side. So I just set that aside and thought, well, I'll use that strip down here at the bottom. And while I was on my cruise, I did some watercoloring. So do y'all want to see some watercoloring? Yeah, dyeing your own is a good alternative. Do that yourself. Thank you so much, everybody. I thank you, Jennifer, for your donation. Thank you. So while I was on the cruise, I wanted a way to do some crafting, but I didn't want to take a whole lot of things with me. So here's what I did. And some of you have seen this before. This was a purse that I purchased a long time ago, and I know the colors are not correct on the screen because it is more teal than blue, and it was a white purse that I carried for a while, and then it got a couple of stains on it, and then I stopped carrying it because, you know, I wanted it to be pretty. So what I did was I took some Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist and a paintbrush, and I went in and I painted the fabric, because this was a fabric, not leather, in this area here. And then I sprayed it with a spray sealant to lock it in, because I had colored this previously and I carried it one day and it rained and it had raindrop spots on it, and so I didn't want it to bleed again, so I sprayed it with the sealer so now it won't. And then I put my supplies in here. Like, these are some of those. Years ago, I used to buy these at Michael's. They were $1. They're little rubber stamp sets. And I thought, well, these will be perfect to take with me. And they're small. And there's an acrylic block in here as well. So I put those in this pocket. We're just going to be jabbing, talking away. And then over here, what's in here? I had to think. Oh, that's my distressing tool. I took that with me, and there's something else in there. I have to dig. What is? Oh, that's my little bitty ink pad. So I put my little ink pad in there. I don't remember if I put anything on the. Oh, over here is my stamp pad. I mean, this thing is crammed full of stuff. This one is empty. I think originally I had some paper towels in there, but I used them. And then I have some Jane Davenport watercolors. I did just order, in fact today, should get here tomorrow. I did order another watercolor palette that's 50 colors, because I found on the cruise that these are pretty colors, but it wasn't really what I wanted to play with the whole time. I'm going to leave that out. And then I put in here some more rubber stamps. These are just some acrylic fake or cheap stamps. I have a stash of paper. I had a color wheel. And then over here I had, I downloaded a workbook from a gal. This is from The Complete Beginner's Guide to Watercolor from Jenna Rainey, R-A-I-N-E-Y, Jenna Rainey. And this was a free download. And I took it with me so I could kind of read up, because I don't watercolor. I don't really know that very well. This was a inspiration that Norella put together, because the kit wasn't done when I went on my vacation. And so I asked her to make a page so I could kind of use that as an inspiration for making some watercolor images. And then I have a Ziploc bag of, where are they? Paint brushes that I took with me. I took way more paint brushes than I needed. I even brought colored pencils, but I never took them out. And I had a little bitty coloring book that I never did anything with. And then these were some pens and glue, a ruler, a pair of scissors to have handy. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab one of these pieces of paper. I've got another one here. And let's do a couple of watercolors. Thank you, Rhonda, for your donation. So that was what I put. I think I even had stuff in here. Oh, I did. So here's some more paper towels. And then this had some candy in it once, but I took it so I could use it for a watercolor palette and clean it out. And I didn't even show you how I carried my water. So I took with me, if I can get it out of I took a pill bottle that I knew wouldn't leak, and it may have leaked a little bit, but it shouldn't leak. And I filled it with water, of course, H2O. And then I had a spray bottle that I filled with water. And then I had this little guy that what I did was I'd pour a little bit of water in here. In fact, I'll do that now. And then I had clean water that's always stayed clean, because I kept that sealed shut and didn't dip my paintbrush in it. Set this down here. Get a paper towel. And so here's what I did. I would get my little water, and I would put I'm going to put just a small amount in there, just so I could clean out my brush. And then I watched this artist online, and what she did was, I'm covering up my work surface, she took the water and she just sprayed it directly on the watercolors, and that gives it a moment to wet those, so it's easier to watercolor with. And I'm going to do this. So what I did was I had these pieces of paper that were 6 by, yeah, isn't that cool, Morgan? I thought it was 6 by 5. And that was just because that's what I had in my stash. And what I did was I just tore around the edges. Okay. Oh, yeah, YouTube has now got commercials during your live streams. Sorry. Your watercolor paint makes great backgrounds. Yes, it does. I'm trying to see if I had any questions. Okay, so there is that. And then now what I'm going to do is tear this in half this way. And I'm alternating it back and forth, so you get tears that are on the front and tears that are on the back, so it gives you a nice deckled edge. And then depending on what you want to do, I tore this into thirds sometimes. Sometimes I left it. I'll leave one. This one I'll tear into thirds. And then I had some that were just straight. Okay. So let me show you what I was doing. I was having so much fun. I set up on a table in it's just the dining area on the ship that is public, meaning anybody that walks through will see me sitting there. It's not in what we call the dining area where you schedule. Okay, I can't see my paintbrushes because I actually took too many with me. So what I need to do is go through all of these. There's the one I want. And I may want this one in a minute. So I'm going to lay that right here. All right. And so I would have all my stuff out, and people would walk by and be like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? I want to see what you're doing." You can do hearts. You can do all kinds of stuff now. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. Let's zoom in. Let's see if we can zoom in. Come on, computer. All right, so can you see all right? All right, so I'm going to show you how to make a really cute, simple flower. So I've got some water here. I've got my piece of paper. I've got a paper towel, and then here's my watercolor palette. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip my paintbrush into the water and make sure that it doesn't have any other color on it. And then we're going to go over here. Since I was working on blue, I'm going to grab some blue paint. So let's do this. This one's called Butterfly. So I'm just going to grab a little bit right on the tip of my brush, and we're going to make a really easy flower. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, to clean off my brush, what I'm going to do is go over here. I'm going to sneeze. Pardon me. I'm going to grab my other paintbrush real fast. And I'm just making a little block at the top there. Put this over here. And then I'm going to come in here and using that block that I just put of water, I'm just kind of, basically, I'm just cleaning off my brush, but I'm using the paper to do that. I'm going to make it kind of big because I think I want to stamp on top of it. So I'm just making a little blob. So I'm going to take my paintbrush and wipe it off on my paper towel. I'm going to grab a little bit of water and wipe that off on my paper towel again. And then we're going to come back to this one. I'm going to dip my brush into some water, and then I'm going to flood that dot and pull it. Can you see that? And depending on your shaping, if you make it a jagged edge or if you make it more petal shape, kind of think making a triangle from that dot. I'm going to just rotate it around and do it again. And what I liked about these is they didn't have to be perfect to look like flowers. So what do you think? And as you saw, I hardly put any water on my paintbrush. So there we've got a flower petal to start with. So I'm just going to clean off my paintbrush again. And I want some green. So I'm going to grab a little bit of green. I've got where I started working in this palette here. So I'm just going to grab a little bit and kind of work on that again, because I know I want both colors. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go around the edge here and just add kind of a little dot on each side. I'm going to grab a little bit of water and then just flood that to make it look like a leaf. Now, this is not my technique. If you watch any videos out there, you'll see, I'm grabbing some more color because I wanted some more. You'll see other artists that do similar techniques to this. I will also say that it doesn't really matter what brand of watercolor that you use. I am using watercolor paint, or paper, sorry, underneath here, which that works better with watercolors because of the water that's involved. Okay, so we got that. All right, so I'm just going to clean up my brush and stick that to the side. What I liked about my water then, I could close this up and I didn't have to worry about spilling. And if I was in the dining hall, what I would do is I would dump it into a cup that I knew that they were going to get rid of. And it's water, so I knew that it wasn't going to be a problem. I'm not like, you know, trying to throw something toxic away. Put that up here. All right, so we've got these two little pieces that we started. And I'm going to close up my palette. Put that aside. I'm going to get my heat tool out. Oh, wait, I wasn't done. Just kidding. I was going to put a yellow center, and I was waiting because it was still wet. So I'm going to use my heat tool and dry that. So there you go. See? You like that? Thank you, Julie, for blessing me with my sneeze. You can also dump some salt on the wet watercolored paper that you just made, and what that will do is it will kind of make little starbursts in the paint when it soaks up the liquid. Okay. All right, so let me grab my brush again, and I'm going to grab a little bit of water, and I want some yellow. So I'm just going to put the yellow right here in the middle. And then I will find my paper towel that I just had. There it is. I don't know, this was a fun technique, I thought. I ended up making, I'm going to put this aside so it'll dry. So I made all of these while I was on the cruise. Well, I made a few Saturday, but with the rubber stamps, I would just make a little block and then rubber stamp something in the middle of it. Here's some flowers. Here's where I took a pen and came back and gave some definition to the flowers. And I just different colors, just played with. Yeah, I was setting it aside to let it dry. This is where I just went from one color to the next, so it kind of has that ombre effect, and I rubber stamped over the top of it. Some more that I stamped. I thought that looked like, oh, here's where I used salt. So see the little starburst in there? That was salt. You love those? Thank you, Jennifer. And then here's some that were cut, ready to go, or torn. You know, it's just playing around. I did stamp. I know oh, they're under here. That was just, I drew a heart and then just added some water into it. Some more little flowers, and then just a little block that I knew I could stamp on later. There's one with a dragonfly. So it's something that honestly you don't have to think about it a whole lot. You could play with your colors that are your most favorite. You could try colors that you don't normally like, but see how they come together. I was fortunate that I have a large stash of pre-cut watercolor paper, so it was easy for me, but a cheap watercolor pad will work. Here's some more just blank paper. Oh, here's where I had stamped this sunflower looking thing, and then I watercolored around it. So you don't have to, you know, here I just was cleaning off my brush and playing with it. I could cut this into a strip if I want, tear it or something, use these pieces. And it's just a way to play and not worry about what we're making, if that makes sense. So then I just had some more papers in here, so I just stuck it all back in. Okay. Put that down here. All right, so I have this little piece. I'm going to grab my Distress ink and go around the edge. Oh yeah, folk art painting. My mom loved folk art painting. In fact, I found some old magazines that she liked from years ago in my garage and was flipping through some of them. All right, I'm just going to use my corner rounder to round the top corners of this piece. And let's add some Distress inks quickly to that. All right, for this piece, I thought it would be really cute if I stamped on it. And this is from the Bunny and Flower Duo. And I've got my archival ink, jet black. And I've got the little bunny flowers. So I'm just going to ink that up and stamp that right here in the middle. And it just, you know, makes a little cute little thing. Nothing's super hard about it. Very easy. So now I'm going to look to see if I have any. I think it's time for me to stamp some more. Well, I have a little label. Do I want to do that with a word? I was trying to see if there was something in here already stamped that I've got to Let's Adventure. How about this one? It's smaller. How about Be Yourself? And you could also stamp directly on there. It is a textured paper, so sometimes when you stamp on watercolor paper, it doesn't get a perfect image, but I think that will work. So I'm going to put that, I think, right underneath it. Yeah, it's just loose. You know, watercolor painting is loose and easy. Yes, you can be very precise with the practice, but it doesn't have to be precise. You know, that is just a loose square, rectangle, if you will, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Now you could go in and accent this with some pencil marks or pen marks around there, but I thought that would be a cute, just a little tag that I could pop right, oops, don't do it before the glue dries. Pop right in my little pocket. Now this piece, I thought, I've got a ivory cardstock, and I have a piece of fabric. So I'm going to put some glue right across the top here. And then I want to lay this so that there's a little sticking over the edge, but not too far up. And then I'll use my fabric scissors to cut it. Okay. Get out of my way. And then I'll just kind of fray that fabric just a little by pulling those threads. Loosey-goosey, exactly. Loosey-goosey. All right. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to get out of shot there. Move these up here out of the way. All right. So then let's take this piece that we just made and glue it to the top here, like that. Or do we want to do it this way? Or this way? I'm going to go that way because I'm going to put a word across the bottom here, I think. Put that back up here. Stay! Doo-doo-doo. So we kind of see the fabric popping out on either side. And I'm trying to make sure that I'm not too tall. All right. And then let's look at my little words again. How about love flows quietly? How about that? So I'm going to come in here and add a generous amount of glue. I need to move. You need to move out of my way, little man. There. Okay. Hercules went to the shop today. He didn't want to stay home with me. I feel unloved. I'm going to go from, yeah, this side. He ran to the back door and was scratching at it, saying, "Let me in. I want to go." How's that? So you got some little layers. All right, so let's zoom back out. And then this will go down in my little pocket. I had a beeping in my ear. That was weird. Okay, so then this will be my journal page here. I'm just checking it. I thought it was catching on something. Don't be catching. All right. I didn't put anything on these pieces yet. I have Be Authentic and Be Yourself laying out here. And, you know, I don't do a lot of lace and whatnot. Let's see how this looks. I don't think you see that blue. Here's a white lace with a little blue trim. I think you can see that one, can't you? Well, thank you, Kathy. You like it? Yeah, it is funny, you know, because Hercules, all of a sudden, he loves to go to the shop. But what's funny is if I don't go to the shop, Henry says that Hercules will spend the day walking around looking for me. And when he comes home tonight, he'll be excited right at first, and then he'll ignore me for a long time. Like it was my fault that he went to the shop without me. You like that fabric? It's, you know, I go to the fabric store very rarely these days, but now when I go, I look to see if it has a pattern that when you tear it into a 1-inch strip, that it has a little bit of integrity and it looks kind of cute. I had some others here, like these fabrics as well, because they're small. So when you tear them, you still get a little glimpse of that. Another thing to do if you're going to thrift stores or garage sales is look for some cotton fabrics that are in shirts or dresses that you can cut up as well. Okay. Oreo is doing pretty good, you know. He is, I can say, blind. He might be able to see a little bit of light, because if I have my light on in my craft room, we have a hallway, and when he's ready to go to bed, he starts to walk down the hall. If my door is open and the light is on, he will come in. If the door is open and the light is off, he doesn't come in here. So I think he gravitates to the light a little bit, but otherwise he's completely blind. He has severe dry eye, and we thought several months back that this was it. You know, he's getting so old. He's almost 14 in December, that maybe it's just time that we need to consider putting down. So we took him to the vet with the thoughts of, this is it. This is the last day that we're going to see Oreo, because his eyes were matted completely shut and he wouldn't let us touch them. And the vet said, we're going to try something. So they took him to the back and washed his eyes and came back and said, he just got severe dry eye. And here's some drops. And so we've been putting these drops in there. He gets up and eats. He goes outside by himself. He'll come back inside by himself. He walks down the hall to go to the bed. He can't jump up because he also has several tumors on his body, and one of them is hindering his back legs from being able to jump. But he can climb if he has a ramp. So he's still around. He's still kicking it, if you will. All right, so let's glue this down. I'm going to use Fabri-Tac, because this is a polyester lace. And so sometimes Aleene's tacky glue doesn't stick very well with a polyester lace. Sorry, I was just sitting here chatting away. So, you know, Oreo's doing really well. Chinese crested, the breed, generally live between 12 to 14 years. If you get one that lives longer than that, you're doing really well in keeping your dog healthy. I'm not sure how much longer Oreo will live, but if he's not screaming in pain and he seems to be eating his food and all those things, we're just going to let him live his life until he's ready to go. Oh yeah, the ripping the fabric. So, in fact, Robin and Jennifer have helped me in the past ripping fabric for the subscription boxes. Thank you, ladies, for your help. If you're coming to Yukon, Jennifer, I may have some fabric for you to rip. All right, so I'm just putting a little bit of glue on the back of this so that I can stick the lace onto it for placement. Okay. Trying to get it somewhat straight, and then I'm going to put a little bit more on top. We haven't made much, I know, but we're making something. All right, so I'm going to put that down right here. All right, so then on the other side of this wallpaper, I was trying to figure out what to do, and I made a paper ruffle. Have y'all made paper ruffles? Do you want me to make a paper ruffle for you? If so, speak up and I will grab a couple of supplies. I'm going to try to find, okay, this will work. And, oh, this might work. So I just grabbed a couple of pieces of paper here. So this is just a scrap. Oh, okay, cool. I may give you, I may give you a project. All right, so I grabbed a couple of pieces of paper. I've got a strip from probably when I stenciled and I cut it to be smaller. So here's what I'm going to do first. I'm going to grab my Distress ink and kind of distress this leading edge on this side. Okay, this piece is going to be covered up, but this piece I'm going to go ahead. Oh yeah, I just realized that I want to distress the opposite side of that too. So I'm just distressing this whole piece. I'm not going to use the whole piece, but it'll be done. I'll go ahead and do the other side in case it is visible. All right, and I'm going to flip this over and do the back side. The other one, this one was made with a book page, okay? So now what I'm going to do is grab a scrap of paper and lay this on top. Since I already had the henna rose out, I'm just going to get that out. And I'm going to get my ink pad and I'll stamp over this. It just gives it another layer. And I'll flip it over and do the other side. Okay. All right. Put this over here. Drink of water. All right. So now I've got these two pieces. So what I'm going to do now is basically pleat my paper. So depending on how you like to pleat, you may want to just fold a little piece over and then fold it down and then fold it over, press it down. It's easier with paper than it is with fabric, but you could do the same technique with fabric. All right, so I'm just going to pleat it over. Pleat it over. Does that make sense? Do I need to zoom in? Aw, thank you so much. All right, and then fold it over a little bit. Okay, does it make sense? Is everybody with me on this? I'm trying to get my fingers out of the way, but you kind of have to hang on to it. All right, so then you've got this little ruffle. And then to help define it, what you can do is take each edge and fold it back. And when you do, you just add a little distress ink on it. So I'm just going to keep folding up each piece. Like so. Does that make sense? Yep. Okay, good. So this is another one of these things that you could take all of your strips of fat paper that you have laying around. I know you have some. I know you do. Because I do. And you can just sit and fold them. You can distress them. And I am going to use my sewing machine. You don't have to, but you can get all this prepped without using your sewing machine and get it ready. So I'm just going to come back and make sure it's all folded. And what I'm going to do is just lay a little bead of glue on here. It should be about the right length. May have to add a little bit more. And then just lay the folds on here. Like so. Oh, sorry, I'm out of the shot. Okay. Oh my goodness, it's just sliding around on me today. All right. All right, so that's laid on top there, okay? And this is the back side. And then I happen to have laying here some blue ribbon. So I'm going to grab the Fabri-Tac glue because this is a satiny type texture. And I'll put a little bead of glue. I'm not putting a whole bunch because I am going to sew over it. And I haven't put some of this Fabri-Tac in one of those little bottles that Jennifer gave me. because I know I'm going to have to add some acetone, and I just haven't brought my acetone into my craft room. So what I'm going to do is just kind of split and lay this on top of the bottom of the ruffle here and smooth that out. And then I'll take my scissors and cut this off. And now we've got this piece that you can use just as it is. In my case, I took one of these and cut it in half, but in a moment I can go down and zigzag stitch that. How's that sound? You like it? Is that something kind of cute? Let's go over here to the sewing machine. I think I've given it enough. Fabri-Tac glue usually dries pretty quick, so as long as it doesn't gum up my needle. All right, so I'm just going to lay this in here and then zigzag. Oops, let me get so you can see me. Zigzag stitch. I got a regular sewing machine, regular thread. I don't even change my needle until it bends or breaks, to be honest. And I think I'm out of needles. I think I need to buy some more. So I think I need to put that in my shopping cart. I got to remember to do that. I just have it set for a zigzag, whatever the default size was on my machine. And so there it is. It even skipped, but that's okay. Oh yeah, sewing lamb, I forgot. So now you have just a little piece that you can use. You can cut this in half. You can use it as it is. You could write upon here, put it on the top of the page. You can make tags out of it and stick it on the top of the tag. So it's just something to use up those scraps of paper. And what I did was I put one, oh, I did add a punched edged paper. I don't think it needed one on this one. You can also add some lace if you have some lace. I don't have a whole lot of lace, and I was finding that this lace wasn't contrasting enough when I was making this journal. Over here, I use one of these fancy paper clips. I have a link down below. I've had these paper clips for a while, and I thought, well, I better use them. So they kind of have a different little top to them. And this was from a scrapbook pad, so I just stuck one there. And I thought, well, let's put one over here as well. I was putting it where it doesn't catch my card. And then, oh, it barely fits, but I think we'll use it. Let's see. Oh, we'll do this one instead. This was a rubber stamp set that I had, and I found this card in my stash where you were supposed to layer it. You stamped in different layers. And I thought that would be a pretty little card to go right here. And I just saw the word thoughts. Now if I can figure out what I did with it. Did I lay it out here and lose it? I'd lose my mind if it wasn't attached. Okay, there we go. How about that? Thoughts. And this could be another watercolor project as well with some scraps of cards. Okay. Oh, you need some cheesecloth. Yeah, cheesecloth doesn't rip like fabric. Do we want to put thoughts right here? Let's put it down here on the bottom. Like that. Glue. Oh, cheesecloth for Robin. I don't know if I have a piece. Oh, I do. Look, I have a little piece. I have a tiny, tiny piece in blue even. All right, so I'm going to cut it. And we're going to lay it on here. I may need more glue though. Okay, put a little strip of glue there. Look, I put some cheesecloth on it. You're making a mummy. Cheesecloth doesn't rip. All right, let's do a raffle for 200 junk bucks. Again, thank y'all for being here and hanging out with me. I greatly appreciate it. I need a drink of water. Put my cheesecloth. I found some. I happen to have a little piece here. Oh, what else I got in here? I think that looks pretty cute. I mean, I know it's a lot of blue with a little bit of the purple in the background, but I thought it was kind of a fun page. All right, so let's see what else we have here. I know I saw some more book pages. Oh, it's a real thin paper. Oh, I put it underneath. That's what's going on. It's like, why isn't this working? Oh, a book page. There's another book page. Let's see what else we've got here. I think what I want to do is make sure that this isn't too long. And it's within. Okay, that'll work. All right, so this was a page that I probably did some watercolor on. And I stenciled over it. And then this is a really thin, fragile book page that rips really easily. So I think what I'll do is maybe center that on the page and glue it down. And then we'll trim off the excess, okay? You'll have all the blue. Well, thank you, because just what was laying here. I may end up using, I don't know, maybe we'll make a pocket out of that. What else do I have here? I had a bunch of papers that I had printed a long time ago, and I was trying to use some of those up as well. That's too small, but maybe we'll use a strip of this. This was some papers that I printed a while back. I was like, I am not using these. I don't know where they came from. Some digital content. All right, y'all ready for the raffle? Sorry, I got to talking. All right, I think what I'm going to do is go like this. I know you can't hardly see the glue, but there is glue on here. Okay. So I'll kind of line it up. And then I'm going to flip this over because this paper is very fragile. And mush it out. All right, we'll let that dry for just a moment and we'll do the raffle. So let's go over here to the giveaway and let's pick a winner for 200 junk bucks. Oh, I might get my camera back over here so you can see me. Here, let me fix my hair. That's important, you know. The winner of 200 junk bucks is Rhonda. Congratulations, Rhonda. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I think, did I do that? Oh, no, that's not right. I think what I'll do is I'm going to do one now and one later. So we're going to do $10 coupon to my shop. So I'll do one now. And then maybe we'll have enough time. We'll do a second one. Anybody and everyone can enter for that. All right, now what I'm going to do is take my paper cutter. And this is a jagged edge, so I'm just going to cut it off because I want to. And then I'm going to go over here and cut this side off. And I think what I want to do is, wouldn't this be kind of cute with a pocket on the edge? So I'm going to cut a 2-inch strip. 1 and 2. And if you don't have scrapbook paper, decorative papers, you know, look at wallpaper, look at magazines, look at other sources that you may have. Maybe you spend some time with some book pages and you dye the paper and you stamp and stencil over the top of it, okay? There's all kinds of ways to make paper decorative. In fact, let's add something to this old paper here. I'll grab a stencil. Well, this one's out, so that's what we're going to grab. This was my Romantic Flourish stencil. And I'm going to grab a scrap of paper to put behind it, just so I don't get it all over my desk. And let's grab, we're doing blue, so let's do a pink maybe. I've got, or a purple. Let's do the purple. I've got Dusty Concord here. So I'm going to grab a little bit of that. And let's start putting this in the corner here. Just add, I'm going to put a glove on just because I know that when I hold that down, I'm going to get distressed ink all over my hands. All right, so I'm going to come in here with the Dusty Concord first. I think what I'll do is come back with a blue on top of this. Heck, I may even spray it with some Tattered Angels. All right, so that's the Dusty Concord. And I think I want, let's do Salty Ocean. I gotta find my blue. Blue. I'm just doing it in a few places so they kind of blend a little bit together. Okay. It's real subtle, but do you see it? I probably could have gotten away with a little bit darker color. See if I can line it back up. Line it back up. Oh, that shows up a lot better. Okay. I'm really pressing hard to get a little bit more ink. Oh yeah, that's a lot better, isn't it? Thank you. Thank you. It's one of my favorites. It's called Romantic, oops, Romantic Flourish Stencil. All right, so I'm going to put that back in here. Take my glove off. All right. And I think what I want to do is we're going to put these as pockets on the ends. Do we want to add some more? I think so. I think I'm going to stamp the top and the bottom with the Henna Rose stamp, if I can find where I put it, because it was just laying here. But of course, I've covered it up. That's usually how it goes, right? Here's my paint brushes. Where'd it go? Ah! Put that away. Linda, if you put things away, you'd be able to find them when you want them. Did I put it on here? No. Oh, there it is. I found it. It was underneath. Now let's get some black ink. And then I think what I want to do is stamp right across here. And I'll do it on the other side as well. And I just thought of something that I should have done. If I had cut this to be a little bit bigger, I could wrap it from both sides. So I think what I'm going to do is grab another piece of paper, and we're going to make the pocket where it's on both sides of the paper. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, this rubber stamp that I keep losing is over here. All right, so I have these two pieces. I have some book page here that if I were to put this in the middle, I could have enough space on either side. So what I'm going to do first is we're going to cut this to be the same height as my journal page. So we'll just get it where I don't always measure. You could use a pencil and tick mark it where you need to cut. I usually can't find my pencil. So I just hold it in my hand. All right, so we got that piece. So now what I'm going to do is come in here, and I know I don't want the blank space at the top, so I'm just going to cut that off. And then we're going to line this up. Oh, I just cut up a book page that I was going to use for the journal. Oh, well, that's okay. We'll make it work. So I'm going to cut this to be the same height as the floral strips. Now I'm going to cut this in the middle. Okay. Are you following me? Are you with me? Have I totally lost you? So now I've got these pieces of paper. So we need to add some distress inks to the edge here. Now, different people do it different ways. You could go ahead and fold this piece in half, and then you'll fold this piece when you have them all put together. I'm going to just glue them down and then fold them after the fact. So I'll take some glue here. And I just realized I probably should add some color here. So I'm going to grab some Salty Ocean. All right, I'm going to glue this down where it's in the center of that text. So I have a little bit of text on both sides. And then we'll smooth this out. So I did that so that my piece of paper is a little bit bigger, so I can add a pocket. All right, so I'm just going to come in here. All right, so I went right to the edge of where the text is, because what I'm going to do is fold over these edges. Okay, go right down the middle. Okay. Now, if you want to be precise, you could use a scoring tool. I think I may do that today just because I don't want there to be too much of a gap here. So I'm going to put that right even. And then we're going to do it over here. I'm not precise. So the idea is that I'll fold this over, and that will give this paper a little bit more strength, so that when we're putting things in our pocket, that single thickness of book page doesn't rip. I thought the paper was pretty too. It's kind of a watercolor clematis is what it looks like to me. Okay. Put that away. And then fold this over. and fold this over. I could make this, well, no, I don't know why I did it that way, but I did. So we're going to add some glue here to glue this shut. And I think what I'm going to do is leave this as a flap so that when we put it on our page, no, that's not what I want to do. Never mind, never mind, never mind, never mind. Disregard what I said because I'm folding this in half. We're going to fold this in half, lengthwise, hot dog style. Pay attention, Linda. All right, so now we're going to dry this. All right, so what I'm going to do is get my distressings one more time, and then we'll fold this in half and go over to the sewing machine and stitch upon it. Yeah, if you don't have a ton of printed paper, you'll use smaller bits of it. Yeah, this is just a 2-inch strip, and I'm going to get 2 pockets out of it. So come up with creative ways of cutting it up and using it so that you use it. I have lots of paper in my stash. I have had it for years and years and years, and I am trying to use it up. But if you don't have it, look for other things that you can use. Yeah, I think it's been about 2 years since I've had that one out. Maybe a year and a half. All right, so I'm going to fold this. Oh, actually, I think what I'll do is I'll score it, and that way it will fold better. So I'm going to put this at the 1-inch mark. Try to get it straight. So it'll fold easier. Yeah, that'll look good as a pocket. See, that'll go over the page. All right, I'm going to get the sewing machine out. So let's say, thank you, Giovanna, for the sewing lamb. Oh, it's got it backwards. Sewing lamb. And let's do, where'd the other one go? There it is. I'm already losing stuff on my desk. I did take some time while I was on the cruise and read a little bit. I am still trying to read the original uncensored version of Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I don't know why I put that away when I knew I was going to need it. The language in that book, oh my gosh. I was like, why'd she say that? She could have said something else, but of course they thrived on language because they wrote a lot of correspondence. And so they had time to know the definitions of these words and use them in their writing. Thank you, Giovanna, for the sewing lamb. All right, so now what I'm going to do is sewing machine. And I want to stitch right here on these edges just to give it a little decorative touch. And I may go ahead, let's fold this in half. I think I may go ahead after I've stitched those is pop that on here and then stitch the page so it's all together. Does that make sense? All right, more water. All right. Sewing lamb. Do y'all read? Are many of you big readers? I have a Kindle, Paperwhite, and I like it for reading because it's easier on my eyes. I can also make the font a little bigger. That's really washed out, isn't it? Let's see if that's a little better. Try not to put too much light on there. it's easier for me to read, and I can carry it around. I don't have to worry about my cell phone. And I even bought a case to put my Kindle in while I was near the water so that it didn't get wet. I probably downloaded lots and lots of books. I need to go find my library card so I can download some for free. All right, go to the other one. Henry even took some time while we were cruising and read a book. I think he read the whole book series. I'm not positive. Of something that he downloaded the first book because it was free, and then he got sucked in and he downloaded the rest of the books, or as many as that are available. All right, so now that's been stitched on that side. Well, Margie, if you had your Kindle connected to Wi-Fi and you get a new Kindle, you'll be able to download all your books. It stays with your Amazon account. Because I had the first generation Kindle, and I actually lost it. I don't know where it went, or somebody stole it, but I think I lost it. It's probably inside a box in between some paper somewhere. And one day I'm going to open that box and find it, because it doesn't show that it was ever connected again to my account. But when I got my new Kindle and I connected it, all my books were still available, and I just downloaded them. Yes, Sherry downloaded hers to her iPad or your tablet. Yeah, you can download them more than once. So don't ever think that you can't. Real books are the best. Well, I agree in some instances. It's just I kind of like the Kindle book because I don't have to have a reading lamp. I don't have to carry a bigger book. I can carry thousands of books at one time. I'm going to add a little bit of glue here. And then we're going to go back to the sewing machine. I'm going to stitch across the top. I just wanted to come back over here to do this portion, just so it would stay. You lost your original too? You have no clue how to do that, Margie? Well, you want me to send you a video? I can send you a video. It tells you how to do it. And you can download them to your computer too, Margie. You can read the Kindle app on your computer. I'm pretty confident, because I was trying to figure out how to share my Kindle books with Henry, because we're in the same household and I have Prime. So when you have Prime, you can share your digital content with your family. And when I did that, it came up with a web page. So if there's some old books that you didn't get to read. Yeah, books do take up a lot of space. So generally read in bed. Yep, good for you. Well, Julie, you don't have to have a Kindle. If you do Amazon books, you can read them on other devices or apps. You can get the Kindle app and read it on your phone or your iPad. Yeah, Kindle books on your laptop. There you go, Sherry says. All right, so I'm going to go back to the sewing machine and just stitch across here and stitch across here. Does that make sense? That'll add a little decorative touch to the page. And it secures my pockets in place. Okay. flip it around to the other side. Here we go. We're stitching. All right, come on now, move. Stitch, stitch, stitch away. It's funny that I just pulled some random papers and they all seem to go together. You see how that comes together? Yeah, too blind to see tiny words on your phone. Well, you can make it huge, Sherry. You go into that. I don't even know if mine will do it because I haven't opened it on my phone in a while. Where is it? Kindle. There are settings. Welcome to Kindle. Yeah. My library. No, it's not. Come on. Oh, I have to sign in. I haven't signed in a while. All right, never mind. But there is a way once you sign in to change the font size to make it bigger. All right, I like that. So if we close this, that's what our page looks like here. And I thought I saw, I've got some cold press. I think that's what they call it. Is that cold press or hot press? I don't know. It's smooth. It's smooth watercolor paper. And I was going to see, yeah, that would fit in there. So what can we put on here? Let's see. I know. I have here the wildflowers, sketched wildflowers. So I think what I want to do is stamp that, and then we'll color it. Smooth as hot press. Okay, I couldn't remember which it was. Thank you, Giovanna. I think I need some ink. Try not to get ink all over me. Smooth as hot press. Cold press, I think, is the more textured watercolor paper. Again, I am no expert on watercolor. All right, let's do this. Ink, 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 ink. And then we'll put it, I'll put it up just a smidge, not all the way at the bottom. And stamp that. And then if we color it, it would look really pretty sticking out of our page, don't you think? So I'm going to do one more because I like to do things in twos sometimes. All right, so I've got two of those. So let me see what else I have. Oh, I have the Ulysses butterfly here. So let's stamp it. I'm trying to really get that inked up. And we're going to stamp it at the top in place. You just remember it just thinking of being cold and getting goosebumps. Okay, there's one. Okay, and then we'll put this one here. Ironing something hot and flat. Yeah. Hand pink waving. All right, so we've got a couple of these. Well, since the watercolors are still out and I've got my brush, I will spritz these again. Let's see if I can make a mess. Get my water. Here's my paper towel. And we'll watercolor these. Let's start with the flowers. Okay. Hot crossing, yeah, making it hot and flat. All right, so let's see. Maybe a little of this pink. Yeah, that'll be good. So I'm just going to come in here and kind of a little bit of water. And I'm wiping this off, and I've got a little bit darker. Let's just grab I've got some purple already. I'll just kind of add that. Add a little purple, a little water. I like it. All right, so we're going to do that over here. I'm listening to a new Sirius satellite channel. Well, I say new. It's been out since August. It's called Carrie's Country, which is based off of Carrie Underwood and all of her likes of music. And there's a lot of 80s songs in there. Part of that is because her sisters are my age. And so she grew up listening to a lot of 80s music, whether it was rock, country, pop, the whole shebang. And so her channel that she has on Sirius Satellite, it plays a lot of the 80s music. So right now she's got Pat Benatar playing on her channel. So it's just funny to see all that. Okay. Yeah, you need a drink, but the cat's on you. That's just the same at our house. You know, I need to get up, but there's a dog in my lap. All right, I think I want this yellow. So I'll just kind of make some dots there in the middle. All right, clean the brush off. And I think this time these little, I know it's like Queen Anne's lace in a sense, but I think I want them blue. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of blue. And I may grab a little bit of purple too. So I'm just going to mix that together. So we kind of get a periwinkle color. And come in here. Make little spots. All right. And clean my brush off. And now I'm going to grab some green. So I started a green palette over here. And we're just going to come in here and kind of loosely do the stems. Oh, I missed some blue there. So we'll have to touch that up. I don't know. I like watercoloring. I normally do watercolor pencils because I felt like I had more control. But now that I've learned a little bit more about watercolor, I kind of like using the watercolors like this. All right, so I'm going to get my wide brush. And what I'm going to do is just kind of do a little swipe around the edge. And then I think I'm going to grab, I've got two shades of blue here, so I'm going to grab a little bit of both. And then kind of looking where that water went. And then let's see if I can flood this. I don't think I had enough water on my paper, but I like the little faux frame. And I'm guessing that the hot press watercolor paper, I didn't have enough water, so it really soaked into the paper. But I think I can kind of keep adding a little bit. Kind of going out to the edge. What do you think? Don't get cats. Cats like to stay in your lap. That's for sure. Okay, so let's see if I can do better the second time. See, and that's another thing with watercoloring. We're just experimenting. We're playing around. Works better for crisper lines. Yeah. Okay. All right, so I'm going to do this again. I'm going to try to put more water than I did the first time. All right, so I've got quite a bit more water. Get a little bit more paint. All right, let's see if we can do a little better. Maybe not. I may just need to chillax a little here, Linda. All right, we're getting there. Need more water. What do you think? Yeah, you got to put a lot of water on there. I'm not putting enough water because I didn't want the paper to curl either. But I think this is looking pretty good. I think I did better on this one than I did on the first one. What do you think? You may like the first one better. Yeah, it's got a lot of pigment in it. It's a good watercolor. I'm gonna let those dry for a moment. Let's do the butterflies. So I think what I want to do is I'm going to get a little purple and put on here. All right, and then I'm going to put a little area of the purple here. Do that over here as well. I'm going to put some dots over here. All right, we'll clean off my brush. And now I'm going to grab some water and kind of blend in this blue. Oh, don't want it too pigment. I got to have more water. More water. All right, so I got outside the lines. So I'm going to, on purpose, go around it just a little bit. Okay. I want to do that again over here. I probably shouldn't try to do two at a time. I should have probably did one first and then the other. Let's see here. Oh, that one I grabbed some green, so it's a little different on the antenna. All right, so let's put that aside. Don't need this anymore. I think I'm done with this for now. I've got my distress ink pad, so let's add some distress edges to these. I may also get out my blending tool for these butterflies and use some distress oxide ink on it. Yeah, you've got to use more water. It's called watercolor for a reason. Exactly. It takes a little bit of practice to kind of get the gist of how it comes together. This one is still really wet, so I'm trying to be gentle. You love playing with them. Hello, Sandra. This is still really damp too, but I kind of like the way the frame came together though. Those look pretty good. Maybe we'll do some more stamping on here. I've got Be Fearless. Find my block. See if this will fit on here. It feel out of. Well, I'm thinking, let's just stamp Be Fearless. And it doesn't matter if it's not perfectly straight, because I'm going to do it at an angle here at the top. How's that? And let's do it again. So that's those two. And let's see what I can stamp on. What should we put on the butterflies? I'm trying to see if I see something that see if we find one that is the perfect sentiment. How about I am enough? Whoopsie. Stamps are falling out. I am enough. And we're going to stamp that right below the butterfly. Sometimes we have these feelings that we're just not enough, but we are. There we go. So we'll put the Be Fearless here. We'll put those on the outside pockets. You can still write in this background if they want. And then we've got the butterfly that we'll put in here. So another journal page idea done. Oh, Margie's winning more junk bucks. Clean my hands off. Okay, I'm liking how this is coming together. And I'm thinking, I cut up that paper earlier, so I need Oh, here's some that I started that I don't know if I want to do this one or not anymore. I guess because it's pinks, we can do those. Okay. Now I got to go back and find, oh, here's one. So here's a piece of paper. So I need to make this at least the same height, and that'll fit. And I'm thinking we're just going to make this a extra journal page using all the scraps. So let's add some stenciling to this side. Poke, poke, nudge, nudge. Y'all get in on the raffle. What do I got here? Let's lay this down. I don't want it to bleed through, so I'm not going to use a spray. And I think I'll find another stencil. Oops, something fell. This is the boxed flowers stencil. Y'all didn't see me eat that chocolate, right? Love the blue. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There's a lot of blue. All right, so I've got Salty Ocean again. And I'm going to ink that up. What did I do with those? Oh, here they are. I'm sitting here fighting this when I can put a magnet on here to keep it in place. I think I want to come back with a pink this time. Last time I did the purple to kind of blend a little more color. Okay, let's put this one away. Did I hear chocolate? I think we all have a love relationship, most of us, love-hate, with chocolate. Pink. So now I've got picked raspberry. Y'all enter the raffle if you haven't already. You ran out of chocolate? Oh, Henry loves me. He was at the grocery store and they had some dark chocolate Kit Kats on sale. And so he bought me some. It's like, they're pretty yummy. I try not to eat too much, but I have a bar that I brought in here so I could have a little snack every once in a while. I think this is going to look good. All right. Let's look. Oh, yeah, that looks awesome, doesn't it? M&M, both plain and peanut, but alas, oh yes, holding you down. I ended up putting a little drawer unit next to my chair of stuff that I want. For example, all of my nail polish stuff is in there right now. It's hilarious. Okay, where did I just do? Oh, there it is. Put this back in here. Get some distress ink. Halloween candy. Oh, don't you have to buy another bag if you're going to support the trick-or-treaters. We won't be home. We're going to go out to my father-in-law's, mother-in-law's house on Tuesday the 31st because we have dinner with them weekly. So we won't be home. We'll just turn out the lights, and I think he's got to bring, we only have one Halloween decoration. It's a minion, and I think he's dressed as a witch. I'm not positive. Henry got it after Halloween a couple of years ago for really cheap. I think he paid like $10, $15 for it. Oh, that doesn't go there, Linda. Put it back where it belongs. Okay, so there's just a little bit going on. You know what? I had one of these, so why not we can glue that in the corner as a little tuck spot. And I've got another one here. I want to do it, maybe we'll do it like this. One over here and one over there. Now, do we want a little bit more paper with that? I didn't do the raffle, sorry. Okay. You have to eat it yourself because you don't get any trick-or-treaters. All right, let's pick a winner for $10 off coupon to my shop. And it looks like everybody, I should have their email. So we'll email you tomorrow when I get to the shop. So the winner of $10 off coupon is Morgan. Congratulations, Morgan. You won a $10 off coupon. All right, so I'm going to reset it. And we're just going to do one more. That's going to be the last raffle of today. That'll go through to the end till we get off here. So do I want to put something else behind there? I'm kind of thinking I do. I've got a couple of Reader's Digest pages here. I'm trying to find one more. Okay. So what if I were to fold this in half? And if this was put on here and we just kind of tore that edge. So I'm going to glue this together so it's one unit. And I had a bone folder, but I think I put it up. Oh, I did actually put it up for a change. So I'm just going to smooth that out. So I'm going to do that again. Add some glue. Glue, glue, glue. All right. I like using my bone folder on a page that I glued, so it kind of helps smooth out that glue underneath. Okay. Oh, did I hit enter? Did I forget? I thought it came up. Oh yeah, it's going. It's going. Okay. Don't waste the candy. All right. So I think what I want to do, we got one there and one over there, is I want to, I think I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to fold this up. And then I'm going to fold this over. And I'll cut this little corner here. So that's going to be on this side. But we're going to decorate it some more. So it's not going to stay looking just like that. But then this piece will go over the top of it. Does that make sense? So I'm going to go over here and basically do the same thing. So just looking at it, pop right there. And then over here, I want to come back in so we're not getting that blank area. All right, and then we're going to make a pocket by trimming those corners. And then this piece is going to go on this side. And yes, it doesn't fit. It's too big right now. But I want to make sure that I've got a good little base going on there. Is that pretty simple? So now what I'm going to do is come with this piece, looking at it, and I want to trim this at an angle so that it doesn't show on the front. And then I think what I'll do is just rip this. And then I'm going to come in here with this piece and cut that. So now we've got this crisper corner, a little bit smaller piece. So now we're going to have a pocket there. Does that make sense? All right, let's do that again with the piece that I just lost. There it is. So I'm just kind of look at this where I want it, and then kind of tear it a little bit. And again, we're going to trim this corner and this corner. Now, I think we need to add some color to that book page, and we haven't done it this time. So let's use some Tattered Angels. So I'm going to get my little box here and lay those out. And I'm going to put gloves on because I don't want to accidentally get... Oh, did I even show you my nails? And then it may be hard to see, but it's a dark brown that goes into a gold. So they have this interesting chrome effect to them. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. I was just trying to think of something I could do that wouldn't stress me out too much. All right, so I've got indigo blue, and it looks like I might have black cherry here. So I'm going to shake these up. Tattered Angels has a mica in the bottom, so you want to shake them really well. And what I'm going to do is just spritz this a couple of times. Put that away. That was indigo blue. And then this is black cherry, if it's not... Ooh, that was really dark, but I think that's enough. So I'm going to hit it with my heat tool, I think, just to kind of dry it a little bit. It kind of looks coppery, but it's really... there's a little bit of copper, but it's 3 different shades of a brown, kind of a copper in the middle, and then gold. So it's hard to show it. I don't know if the other camera, the sewing cam, if you can see it a little better, maybe. I don't know. I think they turned out pretty cool. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, that's a little bit dry. Let's add some Distress inks to the edges. So I'm just going to fold this in. So if you don't have decorative papers, you can make your own. I use a stencil and some Distress Oxide ink. Now, if you're new to this, meaning you don't have a lot of supplies, don't go buy every stinking thing out there. Watch these videos and do a little bit of research about buying tools and supplies that really inspire you. Just because it's on sale or so-and-so used it doesn't mean you have to buy it and bring it home and not use it, okay? You want to use things that you will, buy things that you will use, is what I'm trying to say. And you can get away with a limited amount of things. So if you didn't have the Tattered Angels, you could take, again, Kool-Aid, food coloring. Most people have something like that in their pantry, and make a spray and just decorate your papers any way you choose, okay? We used that Pen of Rose a lot earlier. I'm going to see if there's something else I can grab. Okay, I've got this leaf pattern, which is leaves and berries. Leaves and berries. So I'm going to grab one of my bigger blocks. I thought, there we go. We'll stamp that. Yeah, buy what you really love. You know, you're just madly in love with it. It just makes you happy when you look at it. Then buy it, you know, within your budget. Don't be spending your grocery money on junk journal supplies, y'all. Now, come on. But buy the things that you love, that you are confident that you are going to use in your projects. I like buying tools. I always have liked buying tools, and I feel like tools, because you can use them over and over again, where, you know, if you buy scrapbook paper, it's a one and done in a sense. You buy that page and you make something with it and then you're done. So how is that? I mean, I know you can't see a lot of the stamping, but I think that just kind of helps make that corner. All right, so I think what I want to do is glue this down. Really use my bone folder to smooth that out. And you know, we might use this little piece we had earlier on the edge. Okay, I think I'm going to put that there. So I'm going to put glue on the tab here. And over here. And then put that down. I'm taking my time. I'm going to put my acrylic block on top of that. Okay, and now let's do this side. Oh, charms, yeah. Coffee with a little bit of red food coloring makes avocado color. Cool. Yeah, don't be spending your grocery money. Well, yeah, I guess that is one way to go on diet. You can't eat your papers and gain any weight, that's for sure. Unless you get bloated. Or I watched a, what was it? It was a television show where this girl kept eating paper and she had printed paper and it made her very ill, or him. I can't remember if it was a guy or girl, but it seemed like they ate their printed paper because it was a book they wrote and they were so embarrassed of it that they ate the pages. I mean, I got issues, but I don't think I'm going to eat paper issues. I think tools are just a little bit more valuable because there's so many things you can do with them. And of course, I have some tools that were worthless that I bought in the years to me. I don't have a scoreboard. I got rid of it because I wasn't using it. It was another tool thing that was getting in my way. And I just use my cutter. I know that this edge is straight and I can use a bone folder. You can use a ballpoint pen that doesn't have any ink in it. You can actually use a stylus. There's a knife from your kitchen. Yeah, bad as Tide Pods. Exactly. Yes, people are ridiculous. That is for sure. That is for sure. All right, I'm thinking we're going to put this guy on here. And maybe we'll put a sentiment in the corner. And do the same on that one. Put these over here out of the way. I'm going to eat a piece of chocolate while I contemplate what I want to do. If you didn't know, it's Kit Kat. Dark chocolate. It's really good. Munch, munch, munch. I need a little something. So let's get the words out. I do have the word journal that I've stamped. I need to stamp some more little sentiments. Since I started doing this, I seem to use them more often, I think, because of that. All right, what do we got here? Always dream big. Be the light. I think maybe if we get a piece of fabric, I see some pink here. So what if we were to lay the word on a little piece of pink fabric and put that on there? I think that would be cute. I'm sticking these back in here. Chocolate, not your paper. Tip, have chocolate ready to contemplate while crafting. Exactly. So you can think about, what do I want to do next? Right. And again, you don't always have to upgrade your tools because there's a latest and greatest one that came out. If you have something and it works for you, then use it. Okay, I think, where's my, there they are. Get my fabric scissors out. I'll save that for another day. Let's see how that looks. What do you think? Does that look pretty good? All right. Yum, yum, yum. All right. Well, it's 5:47. I think what I'm going to try to do is finish this page for y'all today. We'll do the last raffle and get off here. I think that'll work. All right. So I'm going to glue this in place. So another way to use those watercolor papers that I made. And again, if you want more definition to your flowers, you could come in with a black pen and doodle on them. Yeah, I love my crocodile. My crocodile corner chomper, my crocodile punch that also does the eyelets. Those were good tool purchases, or in fact, I've been gifted some in the past too. So those are good things to have. I like my slot ID punch. I don't hardly use it right now, but I may do that today. Maybe that's what I'll do, is make a journal card using one of those punches. Love our chocolate. Put this over here. And then we'll put this on top of the fabric, and then glue the fabric down. Okay. There we go. I kind of like that. I thought maybe we could put a piece of this. So if I take this and cut it in half, I just folded it so that I could cut it. And then let's add some distress ink on the edge that I cut. And then how about if we were to add this on the edge? I may come in right to the edge of this blue paper on here. What do you think? Something like that? Yes. Oh, really? Yeah, one of mine on my crocodile broke, the corner chomper, and Morgan gifted me a new one. And honestly, it's still in the package. Because I figure I'm going to use this one until I'm really irritated at it and it doesn't work correctly before I open the new one. Okay, there we go. And then let's do this on the other side. So I'm going to kind of use that piece as a guide so I can stick it down. So now we have a little bit of a decoration on this page, and then it opens up and we've got these corner pieces. So let's see, I'm trying to see how big of a card I want to use, and I'm thinking maybe I've got this ivory cardstock, but maybe if we cut it into, let's do a 2.5 inch strip. So if we did this, that's a nice little size sticking out. I'm going to do that again. And I think I want the slot ID punch, and let's get the corner chomper. Oh, wait, where's my ID punch? Oh, there it is. Way on the bottom. Hey now. You're a rock star. Get your game on. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm glad you've enjoyed it. Thank you so very much. Yeah, you only need one side of it to work. I mean, you can flip it around. There. Okay. See, mine, I taped it and then I put some glue in there so it does, that side doesn't close up anymore. All right, and so I'm going to take the slot ID punch, which has a little slot here, and go right at the top. Now, do we want to use the same fabric in the top here, or do we want to use a different fabric? I thought I saw... Oh, that piece isn't big enough. Let's see what I've got here. Some already. Ooh, I have a little piece of this. Let's use that. Okay. Yeah, it's a corner chomp. Mine is a corner chomper. So it chomps the corners on it. So you have, it's hard to see, but it says 1/4 inch on this side and 1/2 inch. So if you want a 1/4 inch, you chomp it on this side. And if you want a 1/2 inch, you chomp it on this side. Does that make sense? So you have a more, so I like this one because it's easier on my hands. And I can go through several at one time. I don't like the little handheld ones that you have to push the button. Those drive me crazy, so I don't use them. You started singing that too. All right, so I'm just kind of looking at this fabric. I ripped it, so I thought, well, we'll do a little bit of that. I'm going to put some distress inks on the edges, and then we'll feed it through. Gotcha. Julie says, not Crocodile brand. Her being down in Australia, it's a little harder to get some of the supplies. I hardly buy anything these days. I did buy, on my birthday, I went shopping and I bought a rubber stamp set, a spray bottle, here it is, It's from Tim Holtz, but it was $1.19 or $1.12 for this little, and it used to be $4.50. And it has a lock on it so it doesn't spray by accident. And what else? Oh, I got a couple of ink pads. I don't remember the colors. I've already put them away. I got a picture of it. All right, I'm thinking maybe we need to stamp something on here. So what if I've got my henna rose, and somewhere in here, I have these big and juicy ink pads that I've had forever. And I'm going to come in here, kind of march down the middle. Oh, that's kind of cool. I'll go ahead and do it on both sides. There. Put that away. Put that away, my dear. All right, we're almost done. So now, find the fabric that you tossed aside a moment ago. I'm going to cut this edge and then poke this through here and fold it up. Now, if you don't have a sewing machine or don't sew, you could staple this at the top here. You could hand or slow stitch, as they like to say. Or you could leave it longer and tie it into a knot. I don't want the knot, so that's why I'm going to leave it flat and go over to my sewing machine and add a few stitches. So, sewing lamb. Thank you, Giovanna. Let's go over here and stitch this real fast. All right, so again, I'm just going to stitch right across where the fabric is. And it comes, now it looks two-sided, right? There's not really a right side or a wrong side. There's another one. All right. Go to sleep, little lamb. Go to sleep, little lamb. Go to sleep. What is that? Oh, yeah, okay. Okay. Oh, my foot just got caught in a cable. We're going to have a catastrophe. Alrighty. So then, this can go in our little pocket. Goes in our little pocket. What do you think? So we made a couple of pages. We need this one and this one. So we've got color for papers that we've added. Now if we were to put this in here, you could see where it would have all the different sizes of paper sticking out. My thought was I have this bigger piece and I'll decorate it kind of like we did this piece with a little bit of stenciling, but it could go in the middle here or others, and then this kind of gives us a real eclectic look with all the different layers. What do you think? So if we're flipping through the journal and you have all these layers, of course we'll do something in the middle. I kind of like it. Yeah, so I'm going to start doing lives on Monday again, at least through the end of the year is my Oh, gotcha. I'll do lives through at least the end of the year. We'll start the subscription box journal kit projects in November. I was looking to see what other pages I had already worked on here. So like I've got just a piece of graph paper. And then here's another. This was some ledger paper that had been written on. And I made another little page pocket. And on the other side, I used some marbled paper. And I haven't finished it yet because I want to decorate these little journal cards. This is some of my handmade paper. And then this was a scrap that I attached to this very holy, holy mulberry paper. And I used some of Norella's little fairies on here. And this was just a rubber stamp that I found in my stash. So I thought that would be a cute little journal card. And then over here, I made a little journal card out of a scrap of book page and stamping. So I've just kind of been playing around with all this. Yeah. And here's just another piece of scrapbook paper, I think. And then this was a piece of tissue paper that I stamped on, and then I sprayed it with some Tattered Angels and let that dry. And then I layered it over a piece of scrapbook paper, and then I made a pocket over here on this side. And, oh yeah, I was going to show you, I made this little bulb pin. So I loaded some beads on a piece of wax linen thread scrap that I had over here and tied it where I had a little loop at the top, and then put it on a bulb pin that I added a piece of ribbon and then used my label stamp and then put a couple of words. There's a little bead right there as well. And then pinned it to the edge of the page so that kind of hangs down when you flip your pages around. So that was some of the things that I've been doing. I've got some coffee dye paper set aside here. Another scrapbook paper that I think I glued two together. I did. These were scraps that were left on my desk, so I was trying to use it all up. And I figure there's going to be about 3 signatures. I've got some more paper set aside here. Oh, here's some of that mulberry paper that I was telling you about. That's real porous and has lots of holes in it. And then I've got some music paper, but I thought this would look really good. I'm almost there. Once I get these pages decorated and do a nice selection of different things, it'll look really good in there. All right, let's pick a winner for the last raffle. If you haven't gotten in on the raffle, please do so. Got some junk bucks saved up there, Margie. I want to thank you all for being here today. And again, you know, I greatly appreciate you spending the time with me. I appreciate your thoughts and prayers and my thoughts and prayers. Oh, hey, Heather, thank you. I don't know if you're on this live, but thanks for subscribing. If you like what I do, you know, continue to show up, if you will. Share with your friends. Give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below after this live is over of what you liked about today. But I do want to say that, you know, I sympathize with those of you that struggle. You know, the struggle is real. It is an invisible issue that we have that most people don't understand, and they're just like, well, suck it up, go for a walk, or get out in the sunshine, or drink more water, or exercise. You know, they have all the answers, but it isn't a one-size-fit-all type of cure, if you will. You have to find what works for you, and I hope that you do find that relief and joy to make your life that much more enjoyable and fun. So thank you. Thank you so very much. I greatly appreciate it. A commercial. I have to figure out how to turn that off maybe during my live streams. That would be annoying, I think. So let's pick a winner. And again, I want to thank you all so, so very much for being here and hanging out with me. And I think next week I may just continue on finishing up this little journal as I'm preparing for the music kit that's coming out. If you didn't see that, rewatch the video at the very beginning. I kind of flipped through, excuse me, what the printed pages of the subscription box will be. And also know this will be my last subscription box. So if you've been on the fence about joining and getting a subscription, don't worry, as I'm going to make sure this cancels on December 31st, 2023. So you're not going to get a renewal anytime soon or ever. I think I'm only going to have 40 of the music kits. So if you don't have a subscription and you know that you're going to want this kit, be on the lookout for when I launch, which I believe I'm going to launch it on November the 1st is when it'll be available in my shop. And then I'll do the following Monday, I'll have my live stream so you can see how it goes together. Okay? Gotcha. Alrighty. Yeah, Margie watches on her computer. So there is an ad block that you can get on your computers that'll keep those from popping up. Alrighty, well, let's pick the winner. Thank you all for your donations today, too. That's greatly appreciated. Help me keep the lights on and buy some dinner. All right, the last winner of the $10 off coupon to my shop is Sherry Deskins. Congratulations. I will get that coupon sent out to you tomorrow. Alrighty, everybody. I think I'm going to get off here. Henry will be home shortly and we'll have some dinner. And again, I want to thank you so very much for being here and for being a part of my life. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you have an amazing week. Do something creative. Sit down, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Try this watercolor technique. You know, make a little tag. This is one that I made. Stamp something, sew something, even if it's by hand. So thank you so very much. It's good to see everybody in the chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I greatly appreciate you being here. Y'all have an amazing week. And I will see you next week right here on this channel at 3:45 p.m. Central Standard Time. And again, don't forget, after this video is over, leave me a comment down below. It helps my video be seen by other people. And if you really enjoyed it and you want to share it with your friends, I would greatly appreciate that as well. Alrighty, well, I'm going to get off here. Y'all have an amazing day. And no, I don't care, computer. Oh my gosh, now YouTube is doing something where I can't log off until I put in, oh my gosh. Come on, YouTube. I know it's, you know it's me. I've been live streaming here. Just let me end. All right, we're going to refresh this, see if it goes away. Computers! They're so frustrating sometimes. All right, end stream. All right, end. All right, y'all have an amazing day. Bye-bye!